some breaking news dropped a couple hours ago, which kind of shocked us. But so, if I'm remembering his name correctly, the pronunciation, Andy Muschietti, I guess.
See, the thing is, I never tried to pronounce his last name. It's Muschetti. You might be right. It might be just Muschetti.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, he's the director of It and the upcoming It Chapter 2, which this was a shocker to pretty much, I mean, this was a shock to me at least, and I'm pretty sure everybody, keeping up with this film. But Andy Muschietti is in talks to direct The Flash. Apparently, the original directors, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, have moved on from the project. And that also Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee and penned the upcoming Birds of Prey and is writing Batgirl. She's apparently writing a new draft of the screenplay for Flash. So, Josh, what do you make of all this? Were you shocked when you heard about this?
Yeah, actually, I was, because everything that I had heard was that, Ezra Miller had walked away from the role because, he and Grant Morrison had written a script because he wanted a darker version of the script. He wanted like a darker Flash film. But hearing that, Jonathan Goldstein and Daly, they walked away, is actually really surprising. But I will say this, though, with Andy and Christina being attached to this project now, that tells me two things. One, WB is really happy with It Chapter 2, and two, WB is extremely happy with Birds of Prey, with like the way it's gone. Because apparently, I think they did some
test screenings.
Screenings, and like they say, like Black Mask is like one of the greatest DC villains like put to screen, which is a crazy thing for me to hear. Like apparently, of course, Margot Robbie's killing it as Harley Quinn. So I'm more interested in this movie now because I guess I don't know. I think horror like movie directors are actually doing pretty well in terms of superhero films. I mean, you have James Wan with Aquaman, which Aquaman was a great film, and then you have David Sandberg, who kind of started off doing these low budget horror films until he did Lights Out, and that was really well. And then Shazam came out, and Shazam was phenomenal. So I mean, DC so far has a really good track record of hiring horror film directors to direct their superhero movies. I feel like and it's worked
they
out
really
well.
are perfect for the genre. They really know how to do the correct balance of everything.
I wonder why that is.
I have no clue. I think it's just
like why horror directors in particular.
I have no clue.
Are like these like perfect.
They just bring like a sense of touch to it, and it's kind of perfect. Like it just kind of makes sense in a way. They just have that instinct of, when you're directing horror, like when you should do the scare and when to move to the lightheartedness. And I feel like for superhero films, you got to know when to balance emotion and character with action and scale and everything. So I feel like horror directors really get a sense of balance between everything, and like when you think when the line should be drawn and everything like that. So I feel like they kind of got a right mindset when it comes to directing superhero films and horror films in a way.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, honestly, the biggest thing that I took away from that entire article was the fact that they mentioned that Ezra Miller was still attached to the project, when that's literally the complete and polar opposite of what we've both heard in the past couple of months. It should be
noted in the THR, or the Hollywood Reporter article, that they're the ones that broke the story, is that even they said it's a rumor that Ezra Miller his role as the Flash is still up in the air, although he could, But, one thing that's for sure is that the script that he wrote with Grant Morrison, Warner Bros. Didn't like it. They threw that out.
And it'll probably come out at some point. I think probably whether he ends up, being replaced or something like that, we'll find out what that script, had. We'll find out eventually, because we always do eventually.
It'll come out. Do you think Andy Muschietti is a good pick for The Flash?
I mean, really, I can only base it off of It, because I haven't seen any of his other movies, and I'm not even sure if he has directed another.
He did. He has, I think. Let me check. Yeah.
He did? Okay. Yeah. I don't know any of his other movies. So, I mean, to be fair, with It Chapter 1, he really like we mentioned earlier, he balanced humor between the kids and all that with the horror of the clown, Pennywise.
So he did that really well, and you know, I think he could do something like that. Like what I said earlier, horror directors know how to balance, you know, scale and scares, and for superhero films, it's scale of action scenes and characters. So I'm really curious to see how he tackles it. He directed a movie called Mama, which I've.
It Chapter 2 and Mama are like the only films in his filmography.
Yeah, the first one, Mama, and then he's got some short films.
Yeah, so I mean, like, he's extremely new to Hollywood. But the thing is like, just because they're new doesn't mean they're not capable of handling a film of this caliber.
I think David Sandberg did only 2 films or 3 films before Shazam.
Yeah, I think, because he started out doing short films on YouTube, and then I think Lights Out was a really low budget horror film. I think like 30+ million, something like that. And of course, you know, to people like us, 30 million is not a small amount. But in Hollywood, in Hollywood term, that's a really small budget for a film. And then, you know, he was given Shazam, which was 100 million or 100+ million, and then, you know, he knocked it out of the park with that, and, you know, they're gearing up to do a sequel. So.
I mean, who were the Russo brothers before Winter Soldier? They were doing.
They directed episodes of Community.
And Arrested Development, and then I think they did one movie before that, but right out of the gate from TV, they did Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so I definitely don't like. I understand, like, using a filmmaker or, you know, directors like past films as proof whether or not they're capable of handling a film, but we have proof for Marvel and DC that, you know, you don't need to have these phenomenal track records in Hollywood with all of these critically acclaimed films in order to be a successful filmmaker.
You just need to be able to tell a good story.
Yeah, so I'm super keen to see how this all works out.
One thing
I'm not really worried at all. Oh, I just wish we find out some damn information about who's playing the Flash. Just give me that.
I'm just kind of curious, and I don't think the THR article mentioned this. Like, why did Goldstein and Daly, like, move on? Like, why did they leave? They said they voluntarily moved out of the project. I don't know what that means.
This is my own speculation, just based off the information that we've gotten in the past couple of months. I guarantee they weren't very happy that Warner Brothers allowed Ezra Miller to hire Grant Morrison to write a script, because Warner's already said that they loved the director's script, and that's what they were going to go with, and then Ezra Miller kind of went behind them and was just like, yeah, no, I want this film, and they were like, all right, well, give us a script. They're like, wait a second, we just did all this work, and you're going to let the actor write the script? Like, what is all that? If I was a director, I'd be upset about
that's true.
that.
And the writer,
so I guarantee
that
probably really rubbed them. Yeah, I'm like, I guarantee they probably rubbed them the wrong way, and they decided to, you know, peace out.
But yeah, it does kind of suck though, because I really enjoyed Game Night. I didn't like Vacation that much, but I really dug Game Night, and I thought they were a pretty interesting choice for the Flash. And yeah, I guess you know that whole Ezra Miller, Grant Morrison debacle with debacle just kind of rubbed them the wrong way, which kind of sucks. I would have
Yeah, I mean, because this is something that you had mentioned like a while ago, like in the chat or whatever, or you actually, I think it was on the podcast where you mentioned how you feel like Ezra Miller was the reason why this project has been delayed so many times. And this, of course, we're not saying that, you know, them leaving was Ezra Miller's fault, but like, I don't know, like I'm starting to feel like, you know, he's trying to pull rank.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like he really wants it to be something, and it's kind of rubbing whoever Warner Brothers hires the wrong way. Like, how many directors has this movie gone through? It's a Flash movie, for crying out loud.
It's gone through so many directors. I don't even want to like sit here and list them because there's too many.
Do you think
it's just too many freaking?
Do you
directors.
think Muschietti's gonna stick? That's the question.
Oh, we can certainly hope so. I mean, I would prefer him to stay because I want a Flash movie. The Flash is actually one of my favorite characters. I love the Flash, and you know, he's been kind of done dirty in like live action so far. So I feel like please, can we please get a director that sticks and get a script that everyone loves, and just, you know, just get this ball rolling? Because I think that they're pushing for a January 2020, you know, shoot date, and that's relatively close, especially since you just hired a new director and considering
the fact that Andy Muschietti is still working on a movie right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna have to have a really quick turnaround. But I mean,
I don't think it's gonna
I
hit
think
that
they can
date.
do
I really don't think so.
Another delay. What a shocker.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe this has been in the works for a while. Maybe this has been, maybe Andy Muschietti has been talking for literally months now. Because when we hear about it, it means like this has been happening for a little while now. Like this decision did not come today. It was probably it has been in the works for a while, but
because the last that we had heard officially was Ezra Miller writing that script, and then once that happened,
heard nothing,
just crickets,
and nothing but rumors and everything.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that week that he submitted the script, they probably made their decision, was just like, no, and then they kind of just like, yeah, we're just gonna scrap the whole thing and start.
Because I'm pretty sure like when they heard that Ezra Miller was writing a draft, like he didn't like the Goldstein and Daly draft, like Goldstein and Daly probably was like, wait, so you don't like you're about to be in a movie that we're gonna direct you in, and you don't like our script, so we're out of here.
Excuse me. I mean, like I said, I'd be upset.
Yeah, I would be too.
If I were a director.
I'd be like, what? So I hope they move on to better and exciting things, and I hope Muschietti sticks, because we needed a Flash director that sticks for like at least 6 months. But
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. But let's see where this goes. There's so much drama around the Flash. For crying out loud, this should not be that hard. But it is what it is.